500 years earlier, Prophet Zechariah prophesies that your king will come lowly and meek, riding on a donkey. They are now near the Mount of Olives. Jesus sends two of his disciples to go and bring a young colt that had never been ridden before. He tells them exactly where to find it. They bring the colt to Jesus. They put cloaks on it. Jesus sits on it and rides into Jerusalem. People throw their cloaks before him. They throw palm fronds before him. They wave their palm fronds and they start shouting, Hosanna, Hosanna. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. The Pharisees are not happy. They say, can you hear what they are saying? Shut them up. Stop them from saying these things. Jesus said, if they keep quiet, the stones will shout out. Today is Palm Sunday. Hosanna, Hosanna. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Today is Spy Wednesday. The devil enters into Judas. He goes to the high priest and he asks them, what will you give me if I hand Jesus over to you? They are so happy. They said, we will give you money. Then Judas starts looking for an opportune time when he can hand Jesus over to the high priest. It's always an inside enemy. Bikuli Okbani. There have been cases where it is bodyguards who give information and they kill the man. Sometimes it is drivers who give the itinerary and they kill somebody. It's always an inside job. So these accounts can be found in Matthew 26, 14 to 16, Mark 14, 10 to 12, Luke 22, 3 to 6. When Judas turns traitor and hands Jesus over to the enemy. Today is Monday, Thursday, or Holy Thursday. Jesus instructs his disciple where to find the guest room and prepare it for the Last Supper. So they do that and they all go. All 12 are with Jesus. Jesus says, one of you at this table will betray me. He takes bread. He breaks it. He hands it to them and says, this is my body. Do this in remembrance of me. He takes the cup. He says, this is my blood of the new covenant. And they drink, they eat, they sing a hymn, and then they go to the Mount of Olives. This is the day when the traitor is going to hand Jesus over to the enemies. Holy Thursday. God bless you. Before an animal can be used for sacrifice, it is checked over by the priest to make sure it's got no blemish, got no spots. Then it's passed. Pilate does not know that he is the high priest that year. It's towards the Passover. Jesus is the sacrificial lamb. Pilate is telling the crowd, I see nothing wrong with him. They are shouting, crucify him, crucify him. Pilate is saying, but why? He's not done anything wrong. What Pilate doesn't know is that he is declaring Jesus blemish-free, spot-free, right for sacrifice. Eventually, Jesus is crucified between two criminals. There's 7 sayings on the cross, and then Jesus eventually dies. A rich man, Joseph of Arimathea, comes and takes Jesus' body and puts him in a tomb. It's all over. Or is it? Happy Good Friday. The women followed Jesus' body to see where he would be laid, which tomb he would be put in. And then they rushed home to make spices to go back and anoint his body. But before they finished, it was now the Sabbath. So today is now Holy Saturday, the day after the day before. It must have been the most awful Sabbath ever. All the women could do was cry all night, just waiting for the Sabbath to be over so they can go and anoint Jesus' body. The disciples will be dismayed about all the happenings, what has happened to their Lord, to their Master. But Saturday was silent. Surely it was true. But since when has impossible ever stopped you? Holy Saturday. The Sabbath is now over. It's Sunday morning. So the women took their spices and were hurrying to the tomb to anoint Jesus' body. On the way, Mark 16:3 says they were asking each other, who is going to help us roll the stone away from before the tomb? But when they got there, The stone was already rolled away. They went inside and saw a man in white. They were alarmed. The man said, don't be alarmed. Why are you looking for the living amongst the dead? He told you that he was going to rise again. Go and tell everybody that Jesus is arisen. He is not here. Friday's disappointment was Sunday's empty tomb. Since when has impossible ever stopped you? He's alive. Happy Easter Sunday.